Hello and welcome to Role Model. Something a little different this episode. It's our last episode of the year.
It is.
So I have some new friends. You've all met Greg, the Greginator, and you've met Ben, Captain YouTube, in absence of AVL.
Yeah, well, who needs him?
He's already sunning himself somewhere.
Is he?
You probably have to hold the microphone up to your face.
Like here?
Yeah,
I'm not used to this thing. It's weird.
My goodness me. We're off to a good start, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So housekeeping, there really is no housekeeping because it's Christmas. So no code word, no collector's edition or collector's collection, I should say,
Yeah.
this episode or anything like that. It's just us kind of wrapping up our year because it's been one.
Yep. It's been a year, and we might be coming through the finish line with bald tyres, cooked brakes, no oil, and definitely a leaking rear main seal, I think.
And probably under safety car, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been one of those kind of years, but here we are.
Righto, we asked for some of your questions. We've got a few of our own. We're kind of going to wrap this year up as a bit of a Q&A. So, best model of the year that we released, boys. What are we thinking?
Ooh, that's a toughie. There's been a whole bunch.
Decent selection, isn't there?
Yeah, and this is probably going to be a bit of a controversial one, but I'm going with the Copper Rockets.
I did wonder whether you were going to bring up the Copper Rockets.
I just think they're great cars. They just look mint.
I do believe Former is still enjoying his Copper Rocket that we sent him. So
Excellent.
hopefully he's getting full use out of that.
Excellent. Ben?
I'd probably have to go the white Dick Johnson Gen 3 Mustang.
Oh, the pony car.
Yeah.
Pony car.
Oh, yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with that car. We'll get to that at some point. Anyway, let's
Yeah,
crack
no,
on.
that's I like that. I like their 550s.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest,
yeah.
something a little resiny, just something different.
Yeah, it's a real shame that the 550 never actually got to become a real race car because they do actually look really cool. In some ways, I kind of prefer the shape to the 650, but it is what it is.
Is it because we got used to kind of that as the Gen 2 car?
Yeah, I kind of call that Stockholm syndrome, where you look at a car for long enough and you start to appreciate it. I know when the first Mustang came out, it was laughable to me, and then after a while I grew to love it. And yeah, maybe the 550 is just a baby step away from that, and the 650 was quite a quantum leap.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just think the 550 was a cool looking car, with the headlights integrated into the grille and stuff. That's gnarly looking, whereas the 650 is a little bit more robotic.
I love how we're just staring off camera because they are over there.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So, anyway.
Yeah, so that's
Still staring over there.
Anyway, we'll stop. I'll do this. So, hardest model to produce, Greg, from the year. What was your hardest?
Okay, so if we're
And only this year. Only
only this year. So in terms of if we're talking in development, and that's not making the sticker packs for the cars, which is sort of the decoration side of things.
Yep.
I'd actually say Landau's probably been the hardest, and that's only really been through trying to get the factory to understand that I want to do it in various different modes, and how they're going to do that. That kind of created a bit of a Chinese whispers kind of thing going on. Apart from that, most of the other cars have been pretty straightforward. In terms of decoration, though, definitely the pony car, which is the Dick Johnson car, and it's got that fade that starts at the bonnet and kind of works its way down into nothing.
That you can barely see.
You can barely see, but it kind of makes the car work, and getting that to work was an absolute headache. So, yeah, between the two, it's all forward, weirdly. Anyway.
That's all right. That's all right. Sometimes it is.
Yeah, sometimes it's not.
And Benjamin, it was your first Bathurst
It was.
this year. So, thoughts on that? How did you enjoy your first Bathurst experience?
It was interesting, to say the least. I didn't expect Bathurst to be kind of like a small town.
But it's a country town.
I don't know. Because it's such a big racetrack. It's
such
the
a
most
big event
iconic
too.
racetrack in God knows how many cities. And yeah, it's just weird seeing that it's just a regular country town.
Yeah.
With a racetrack attached to the side of it.
Yeah, with one of the most iconic racetracks. So definitely very interesting. Also, we tried doing a vlog That didn't work out as well.
We've tried a couple of vlogs this year. One made it to air, which probably wasn't worth putting to air, and then the Bathurst one, which just never made it.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't know.
You did look stupid walking through airports with your camera, though.
With the
so
GoPro, yeah.
So at least there was that we could laugh at you
Oh,
about.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
there's bits and pieces we might be able to just B-roll into this for giggles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not a bad
that's
idea.
it.
That's
Yeah.
just made his life a lot harder. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. I also decided to paint the town.
I didn't. I'm glad you brought that up, not me.
Got a little bit too drunk.
I cleaned up some of the town after you painted the town, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hertz, for the use of that rental car. It'll never be the same again. Anyway.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, probably a good call.
So this was obviously our first year of doing this nonsense with cameras and talking to inanimate objects. Have we enjoyed it? It's probably more a Greg question, given that he's done a fair bit of this.
Me personally, no, I hate it. I got to say, like, I know everybody likes it and they like to see me unbox cars, which I find utterly bizarre. But me actually talking about the cars, yeah, I'm terrified of doing it. I don't really enjoy it, but they keep making me do it anyway. So I guess this is my life now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yep.
It's one of those things. It's really hard talking about yourself. Like if you go into a job interview or something and you're going to talk yourself up, it's the thing that you're really not that good at half the time. And this is kind of the same thing. They're like, this is what we do every day. So
And then-
it becomes well, could you talk about that? And you go, it's a model car.
Yeah. It's got wheels and and then if the brain stops working, I'm screwed. So
And the brain stops working fairly regularly.
Yeah, the amount it takes to get some of that stuff out is kind of
We're not
mind melting.
Yeah, we're not one-take wonders at all, are we? So what... sorry, Ben, you were going to add?
I was just going to say I've definitely tried making a couple unboxing videos and it never worked.
And we've reboxed them. You started strong. And I know, even I've noticed that you don't appear as much as you used to.
No. Well,
That could be because he enjoys being behind the camera, not in front of it. What models are we looking forward to making next year? Given that we're already at next year now, almost.
To be honest, more of the same.
Yes,
You know,
there'd be a bit of
we've just kind of got to the point where we've got the supercars rolling again. So there's a whole bunch of cars that we need to get through there. Sprint cars is a brave new world that I'm actually quite excited to jump into and get more of that stuff sorted out. But yeah, we've also got more road cars coming through. There's all sorts of stuff kicking around. Like
It's kind of bringing to the table what we've already announced, isn't it?
yeah.
Because then next year, hopefully, we'll announce some new stuff. But again, we probably won't deliver that until the following year.
Yeah,
because that's just how our system works.
Yeah, it's the knock on, but that's life.
Yeah. Yeah. Ben, anything you're looking forward to seeing specifically?
it's a good question.
Okay, I'm glad you're prepped for that.
Well, is the Landau coming next year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I think the Landau I'm pretty excited for.
He'd like some monster Mustangs, but he's not going to get any of them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What event are we looking forward to most next year?
It's got to be Bathurst round 2, right?
For you, that's round 2.
Round 2, Electric Boogaloo. I'm actually going to throw down and say Darwin.
Ooh,
I always like Darwin because it's
because it's Darwin.
Yeah. If anything, I think that's probably one of the last places that I'd actually like to go and see the track and actually do the event live.
We don't get up to Darwin very often. do we?
No. And it's it just seems like a cool atmosphere, and the cars are all pretty, and it's something I've never done. So that's definitely one that I'd like to jump in on.
I was going to say Race of Champions or the Adelaide Motorsport Festival.
Yeah, either of those.
Yeah,
Outside of Supercars.
outside of supercars. Right, on to some actual questions, not the silly questions that we've made up ourselves. So Jack Turnbull has asked us what the highest selling model of 2024 was that we produced.
Ooh.
Without looking at your notes, Greg, what do you think it was?
Ooh.
Ben knows, so I can't ask. I know Greg won't have looked ahead, though.
No, I didn't actually bother. I was too busy actually doing my job.
Burn.
You know,
Keep going.
I'm going to actually say I haven't a clue.
Where's the fun in that?
Oh,
Yes, pick one.
Copper Rockets. There you go.
No, actually, it wasn't Copper Rockets
Well,
at all.
go on, tell me.
I didn't get myself a beer then. It was the WAU ZBs from Adelaide 2022.
Oh, they were released this year, weren't they?
Yeah.
Very early.
Okay, I'm just going to say
when
that
I went back.
we've been going through so many cars. Doing the ZBs actually feels like 200 years ago. So
Yeah.
I had completely discounted them.
Completely forgotten about them. Haven't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, oh, yeah.
That was such a good looking car too.
They were, yeah.
We actually went back and because Ben and I were doing some digging, and it was actually one of the first videos that Ben made for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
what
there you go.
sort of kicked off the YouTube.
And it's been all downhill from there.
Well,
clearly,
I wouldn't say
'cause-
that. We went from 100 subscribers to
Yeah,
1.7.
but that was our highest selling car of the year.
I know.
And it was the first one. It hasn't got any better.
no, I've completely forgotten about those cars. That tells you how quickly everything moves around.
Well,
here.
we
It
got
was a lot.
they moved to Mustang, and then all of a sudden we've been in Mustang land with them, haven't we?
Yep, and it's just Oh, wait, hang on. They ran Holdens.
They used to run Holdens. What?
Yeah.
John has been a bit cheeky here. John is a bit of a friend of the system. Will, now that you're an old man lawn carer, will you still have enough time to fulfill your authentic role model duties? What a cheeky... And no, we're not making model lawnmowers moving forward.
Why not? I was quite excited, actually.
I wonder how big a 1/18 scale Victor would actually be. It must be about yay big.
Very small.
Yeah. It'd be tiny.
Well, I mean, about the same size as the Blue Heeler, probably.
Yeah, give or
Actually,
take.
might be all right.
Yeah.
But no, we're not. And yes, I enjoy making smoked meats and I enjoy mowing my lawns now. It's just I am at that age.
Yeah, you've reached that age.
Yeah.
You know, some people do that. I went into
You've
wood.
gone grey.
I've gone grey and I've crawled into the shed to go and play with wood. So, you know, everybody does that thing at that age.
Playing with wood in the shed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't think we were that kind of podcast. Anyway.
Yeah, all right. You're getting a sponsorship from Lawn Hub. That's the big question.
Oh, I do use their product.
Yeah, the shout out to Lawn Hub. He uses your gear.
I use a lot of this stuff,
Yep.
and it's very good. Makes a nice green lawn. Dan helps. Is there any chance of you producing the 98 Lowndes Championship winning VT HRT car, as well as a whole heap of other VTs? No company's ever made them in 18th. VTs have been made in 18th, but they were early doors 18ths.
Yeah.
So I think the Bianchi one wasn't too bad. Definitely the Classics one was kind of before
Yeah, it was a bit how you going.
moved to the higher detail stuff before they then moved back to the lower detail stuff. But definitely there would be some meat on the VT bone. Let's just say that. So yeah, it's one of those things that
I wouldn't say rule it out.
yeah, it's one of I can't remember if we'd said whether we've got AU on the go. Had we said that? Maybe we hadn't.
We've got AU on the go.
So we do have some old supercars on the go, but it wasn't VT.
No.
We've started in Fordland. So there you go. There's a little Easter egg for Christmas. Does that work?
Yeah,
Easter egg for Christmas? Yeah, why
yeah.
not?
2 different holidays.
Doesn't matter. At sus 6 litre. I assume that's sus 6 litre. Where can I buy a shirt that old mate was wearing in the 112th Big Banger unboxing video? I really, really need one of those. We probably should actually release them, shouldn't we?
Well, yeah. That was actually a sample that I was wearing. We got a couple done and sort of went, yeah, these could probably work, and ended up going back to dealing with model cars and never actually got around to placing the order. But yeah, we might get onto that.
Because everyone in the office accused me of stuffing up
you
the
did.
sample.
You stuffed it up.
Not to get to too fine a point, but yeah, there's a bit of a stuff up in there.
But they were a sample. That's what it's for.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I'll allow it. But yeah,
Okay.
we'll fix it.
We
in
will,
post.
we will get sorted. We will
Yep.
get sorted on that. V. Lockley, question for the podcast. What was the first model Authentic ever released? And what was the first supercar supercar team you signed to make their models? Do you remember what the first cars were?
Oh yeah,
It is written down in front of you.
yeah.
Let him,
I need
let
to
him
put my
check.
glasses on.
Let him check.
No, it was the DJR car. So we had the Sharp car, VM Waste, and the other one, which is down
Shell
here,
cars.
the Shell cars.
Yeah, and a plain body white.
Yeah, and yeah, first team, obviously enough, was Dick Johnson Racing. So it all kind of goes to the same thing.
Wasn't actually. It was Erebus. No, we had a in principle agreement with DJR when we started the business. That's sort of how we started, or why we started the business, was that we knew that they would come on board. And then, of course, as soon as I pulled the trigger and we did what we did, then Ryan Story started playing hardball. Of course, that's exactly what he does. But we got him in the end. So no, it was Erebus.
Well, the first
Erebus
signing
was the first signing.
I think a handshake agreement still kind of trumps that to a certain extent.
Kind of.
So we're both right.
Both right.
Yeah, but I do recall those cars, the first FGXs that we got through. I was shitting bricks about those cars, and I checked every single one of them
5 times over.
5 times over, and I rejected quite a few. So yeah, if you've got one of those, it's definitely been fondled by me.
Again, didn't think it was that kind of podcast, but anyway. So July, so we effectively started the business in October 17. We announced it to you guys that we existed in December 17, and then we released the first of our cars in July 18. So even when we kind of knew what we were doing and ahead of the game a little bit, still took us till July to actually deliver the first set. Which is how you can see how just it takes time with these things. But we were starting from a standing start.
Yeah, and in hindsight, to actually go to zero to an actual product it was high speed. Going back on it, it's like, wow, we actually did really well to get that done in the time.
Yep. And then obviously I think it was December 18, we released the Penrite Bathurst winner. So kind of 14 months on from when we actually started the business.
Yeah.
And they got their win. But man, that livery was hard.
Yeah.
Talk about hard models to make. Trying to tempo print that winner was
that was brutal.
Hard work.
Yeah. If you've got one of those, congratulations. That car was a hell of a lot of work.
And there was only kind of 7-ish of those.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of those that we actually made in the end. And we're back. Sorry about that. Last pickup of the year has now been completed. So if you had an order in that,
it's just gone.
It's just gone. Right, next question. Kim Mills. Any chance of any more 164th Ford models to be produced?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe one more. 64th Gen 3 Mustang. Yes, we are in development of that at the moment. That's a 3D printed sample, but we are expecting a die-cast first shot in the new year. So yes, there's more stuff to come. Probably not just this, but for now, that's definitely happening.
It's a good start. It's a good start. Rob Thompson asks, would Authentic Collectables consider making models with a scale model driver inside the driver's seat? Tell the listeners how that went last time we tried.
It didn't go very well. And more to the point, now that we're in Gen 3 land, the level of contortion that a driver has to do to actually get into the seat these days is far worse than it used to be on, Gen 1 and Gen 2. If you actually made the driver a solid plastic object, he'd never get out of the car ever again. And so if we kind of toyed with the idea and then figured out if we do this, the driver has to be permanently planted in the car or not there at all and nothing in between. So we kind of shied away from it.
There's also another little issue when it comes to driver helmets. So obviously if they're sitting in the race car and we make a model of them sitting in the race car, you want to have them with their helmet on. The issue with that is who owns the helmet, or more particularly, who owns the design of the helmet. So the team don't, and our deal is with the team. Then sometimes the driver doesn't even own it. Sometimes it's the painter or the designer of the helmet that owns it. So we add another level, if not two, of licensing to the car. And that just makes it way too complicated.
Yeah.
We've tried it. We thought about doing sort of half-scale helmets or quarter-scale helmets and things like that, which they've been done in the past. But in the past for much older helmets or much older time frame than today. And today, guys are just a bit more complicated in how they go about things.
Yeah. So
it'd be cool,
but
Don't get us wrong. But,
yeah, kind of not necessarily doable.
yeah. Yeah. Bit weird. Bit weird, that one. Jordan Trelaw, would you ever consider producing parts of cars for sale, such as windscreen wipers? They're often the first things to break and they're hard to replace.
Well, I mean, for the cars that we produce, yeah, if you bust a windscreen wiper off, yeah, you can basically email us at info@, and we can help you out with that.
Normally we've got some bits, and obviously we've got a few bits and pieces, wheels and what have you on our website as accessories now anyway.
Yeah, and bonnet pins, which are one of the first things that disappear. So yeah, we're slowly building up a log of spare parts that you can actually buy directly through the website. But yeah,
And wiper blades might not be a bad idea.
that's actually something that we really hadn't considered. But yeah, most certainly. As we go further forward, yeah, like obviously if you do bust a piece off your car, email us. We can generally help you out. But yeah, it's actually sort of spending the time to set up all of that sort of stuff on the website that, yeah, we just don't generally have a lot of time for.
Postage kills us too.
Yeah.
Is the other thing. There's no point buying a 10-cent windscreen wiper if it
Yeah,
costs them $10 to post
$7 to send it. Yeah, so
I struggle to buy things online like that, so I don't expect you guys to. Matt Watts, if there were no licensing issues, have you ever considered doing a resin model of the Brock Director VL?
almost every day.
Yeah, it's one of those things like the list is long and varied, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, as you say, yeah, there are licensing issues surrounding a lot of the HDT stuff, and a few other issues as well. But yeah, if it was a clean slate, I'd be like, we're doing it now, you know.
The VL's also one of those things that I would love to do at some point as a complete, you know, the whole lot.
Yeah.
As in, you do the Walkinshaw, you do the Director, you do
BTs,
normals,
like the whole
you
thing.
do Group A,
Calais.
race car, like
There's so much
87, and everyone's had a crack.
Yeah.
Now, you know, so Bianti have done Walkinshaws, Classics have now done Walkinshaws. Bianti did Group A, you know, pre Walkinshaw.
Yeah.
And did SS. Did the SS Group A because that was the forerunner to then doing the race cars and stuff. So
Yeah.
there's still a lot of VL stuff to do. And I'd argue that probably wouldn't need to do that one in resin. That would actually would form part of a bigger die cast program.
Yeah, and it would be huge.
And it would be huge.
Yeah, but
and huge equals a lot in tooling, which just makes it a little prohibitive to start with.
But yeah.
Need to start some crowdfunding or something. Get you guys to start paying for tooling before we start. No. What do I want for Christmas? No, it's different.
Reach around under the couch, pull out your 50 cents.
Yeah. And away we go.
Yeah.
Right, Andrew Carter, our last question of the day. Andrew Carter, what was your biggest sales surprise of 2024? As in a model that you didn't, a model that did way better than you expected. Ben, what do you reckon?
Well, I did do a little bit of thinking.
As opposed to Greg.
I chose the P76.
76?
Yeah, mainly because it was classed as kind of a lemon.
Yeah. As a real car, not as a model. The model's a very fine piece of art.
Yes, I should have put that in there. Yeah, so the real car was classed as a lemon, and I didn't really expect it to take off as well as it did as a model form. So yeah, that's why I chose the P76.
Yeah, rightly
Well,
so.
that's 11th on our list of top sellers for the year. So what about you, Greg? What were you thinking?
Look, if I'm perfectly honest, I'm actually going to say sprint cars. We're kind of, I guess, sprint car adjacent. Well, like I didn't really know whether going down that path would actually be as big as it has actually turned out to be. That was really a surprise as to how big, you know, the sprint car fraternity actually is, and the excitement for actually having an Australian sprint car kind of blew my doors off. I was like, wow, okay, let's go and make more of this. Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really sure how it would be received, and it's going gangbusters. So yeah, what a surprise.
And I think next year we'll be doing a lot more.
Yeah, and rightly so.
Yeah. Well, they don't make the list because we haven't actually sold any yet this year. Oh, sorry, we've sold one. That one.
Yeah.
But we haven't sold the others yet because they're sitting out in the back.
Yeah.
That got pulled out of the container yesterday. So did you want to know the top 10?
Yes.
Our top 10 top models of the year. So number one, we already covered off. That was the WAU car from Adelaide in 2022. Then it's the Gen 3 launch livery of the Camaro. So the silver Camaro.
Oh, yeah.
In at P2. Mm-hmm. P3 was the championship winner from 2023, the Coke championship winner that we only released this month. So,
yeah, like literally like a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. So that's got in there at P3, even though it's only been out for a month.
Yep.
Then a couple of VEs, a couple of road cars. Well, a road car and a police car. So the Red Hot VE was in at P4. The police car in at P5.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. The police car, I think, has shocked us all a little bit with how well that went, and hopefully more to come in the new year.
Yep.
Our first 43rd comes in at P6, and that is again
Well, it's,
same.
is that a cheat? I feel like it's a cheat.
Kind of. So it's Mozzie's car from Adelaide 2022. Then the Copper Rocket
Called it. Gotta
comes
be
in.
there.
So that it was the Matt Payne's Adelaide 500 winner.
Yeah.
Then Ben's favourite would be DJ's S550 prototype. Sorry,
Yeah.
so not DJ's.
Yeah.
The one digit in that line caught me out. So the 550 of the launch livery
Yeah.
was then a 64th. So again, we've got all our bases covered here. So the 64th of the Coke, Brody's Coke car from 2023, and then an Imagination Project comes in at P10. So that would
Green-Eyed Monster.
the Green-Eyed Monster. So the FGX Green-Eyed Monster comes in at P10.
Good. Yeah, I
then,
had
as I say,
a bit of fun doing that car. That was good.
Yeah. Then the Amiga Navy P76
Number
was
11.
was in P11.
Yeah. Fun thing about the P76 is we've actually made more Tiger Florios than Leyland ever did by a considerable factor, actually.
By way more. Way more.
Although the numbers are a little bit grey on how many Tiger Florios there actually were. Ranges somewhere between sort of 400 and 900, but even then we're still beating them all.
Yeah, that's
So there
exactly
you go.
right.
We've created more P76 Tiger Florios than Leyland ever have.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, weird, right?
Who'd have thought?
Here we
Who'd
are.
have thought?
Anyway.
All right, guys. Well, that's kind of it for us for the year. Yep. So I should probably say some thank yous. I should probably say some thank yous to these two Muppets for still being here at this point in the year, to be honest.
Well, everybody else has left
Everyone
the
else
country.
has left the building.
There are more in the team, but they're all conspicuously absent at this point.
They've always decided that Christmas is on, so they're out. So to Tristan and Tash, who, as I say, aren't here, Christine, our sales manager over in New Zealand, our team up in China as well. Thank you to everyone. AVL, I probably should thank as well, and the Speedcafe team for kind of having us on board this year, letting us do this nonsense and getting it out to you. Grant Rowley for doing some editing. Ben's kind of taken over most of the editing now, but Grant still does a bit for us as well. Who else do we need to thank? You guys.
Yep.
Probably fairly important. Yes. You guys for watching, subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to like, blah, blah, blah. But also just for buying our product and supporting what we do. We wouldn't be doing any of this nonsense, let alone making all this nonsense if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you for that. I hope you have a really good Chrissy. I hope you have a safe Chrissy. Hopefully you get some time off over the break, and we'll be back 6th of Jan.
Yeah.
6th of Jan to start all this all over again and have another crack for 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Thanks.
We've got some bursters for week 1 too, so pay attention.
We do. Stay tuned. That's the important thing. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good Chrissy.
Take it easy.